Hello, welcome. We are here with Teri Cajero.
Yes, Cajero.
It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
So
also.
where do you live?
I am actually from Jemez, Pueblo in New
Okay.
Mexico, and I do live in Rio Rancho, New
Oh,
Mexico. So
very cool.
yes. So this is where I live. I'm actually from sixth generation potter. So I was taught by my mother, and she started me off first doing figurines, like you see here, storytellers. I started doing
Okay.
storytellers at a young age. I actually started at 4 years old. Then as I started winning awards and doing art shows when I was in second grade. And from there on, I was hooked. So I started doing
Wow.
the figurines, and I do like nativities and a lot of other work, like some work. I do friendship pots also. So I do little figurines, little miniatures. And then about in my 20s, my dad taught me, well, I finally asked him, because he told my brother at a young age, I asked him, I told him I'm ready. Can you please teach me how to stone polish and hand carve and etch what he was doing at the time? So I was about 24, I believe, when I learned how to do this technique. First, he started out with the
Oh,
stone polishing and etching. Then we went on to like the deep carving. And all the colors that we find are natural clay slips found in the mountains in the Jemez area. And when I asked him, I'm ready, so he was pretty shocked. He didn't think that I could actually use a X-Acto knife. He was afraid I might cut myself. And, just being a girl, he was afraid for that. And so when I stone polished him, I kind of impressed him, he was pretty shocked at how well I used the tool. Instead, it was just like transferring the brush to the carving. And he used to always critique me on my work. And, I learned from my dad. And now when we do our competitions, we're in the same competition. I've taken first, and, and we were shocked at that. I was shocked, but I had a good teacher. So I do a lot of the larger pieces as well. I have one here.
oh,
I
that's
don't
beautiful.
I do a lot of
Wow.
turtles. Yeah, so there's my turtle pot going in
Bottom
four
is way
directions.
different.
Excuse me?
Terry, the bottom's way different on that pot. What's on the
Yeah,
bottom?
the bottom has a clay slip of the brown that has mica in it. So there's mica in this piece on the bottom.
Amazing.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. And this part's meloned off. So you see some melon, but I put some melon here, like the wave of the water. Am I
Yeah.
doing here? And I have the turtles, of course, representing long life and water.
Look
So I
at the
have like,
meat. That's beautiful.
thank you. So I have the top here,
Yeah.
the star design on top. So this is my work. I've been doing this many years. I started, like I said, at 4, and my gosh, I'm doing pottery over 30 years now. Now I'm passing it down to my kids.
That's great.
Yeah, so my kids,
Right.
they're also doing their own work. My son is actually learning how to stone polish as well and carve. And he actually did a piece last week for his class, and he got 100% on it.
How old?
I have a soon to be 14-year-old and soon to be 10-year-old. And I also have soon to be 5-year-old. So all their birthdays are in the summer.
Even in reference to you talking about your children, I've not had somebody on Coffee with Kim talk about the storyteller pottery that you were just showing us. Can you tell us the
Yeah.
story behind the story?
So here's the storyteller. So what they're doing, the storyteller, actually, it can be mother, father, uncle, aunt. So the story is they're passing on the tradition, the stories of our culture. So they all gather, and like I said, it can be uncle, grandfather, telling the stories to the children. And a lot of people think that they're singing. So, they're speaking when their mouths are open like this. So what they're doing is teaching the culture and the language to the children at home. So, like me, I'm actually I'm passing my traditional to my kids, So I want them to carry it on to their kids and, just passing it down. So that's what the storyteller represents. And I usually do some reading books, also Santas. I do a lot of different storytellers, but this is one, she's just carrying the baby. And you see the babies all around her. Some storytellers have a lot of babies. I've actually done just one in my whole career of 50 babies, and that was it. That was a lot, and it was pretty tall, the storyteller, and I never made one since. I was thinking I should make another one. I actually want to do some where I carve, on the dresses. I was thinking, I'm just different ideas for the future, but this is storyteller here.
That is totally what I get about the storyteller, is just passing on those traditions onto our children. So so that's living culture, and I wanted to share that. So what is your perspective of what a living culture is as an artist?
There's a lot of different things. Is there anything specific you want to know?
Well, so a lot of people just think that Native Americans just do art. And so I've always just thought, no, it's not just about art. It's about our living culture, and it's about who we are and how we want to pass that on to our children. And I think that's very appropriate to your story as a potter, right? That's part of what you were talking about, as far as the 6 generations, and you're the 6th, and you're passing it on to the 7th.
Yes, my kids.
If we didn't do that as part of our culture, it would not be passed down.
Yes. And also the language as well. We're trying to keep the language, because a lot of the different pueblos are losing it, so we're trying to teach our kids so that way they can pass it down to their kids. And if we don't, that's what makes us who we are, is our language, and we don't want to lose that, as well as our whole culture from our dancing, our traditional way of life. There's a lot to it. And it's just we live in 2 different worlds, and our kids have to understand that as well. And right now, being in the city, we're still passing it down to them, and we want them to get, educated, as well as still respect our culture. And so they understand all that. And it's just a little bit harder to, we teach them every day. We speak to them in our language, but it does, having their friends and TV. So we're trying to, we try a lot, we have a night where we actually sit at the dinner table and, have them teach them new words. There's a lot of older words that I myself too, that I don't really remember, and from the elders as well.
So do you have an art studio in your home?
I actually a little sort of have an art studio. I don't really need a whole big area, Usually, even when I'm somewhere else, I always have a notebook, and I'm always drawing, designs and what I come up with. So, I'm an artist too, where when I have a new piece, like here, when I don't have a design on it yet, it takes me a while to come up with designs. Sometimes I should be sleeping, but I'm not sleeping. I'm always constantly thinking, what should I put on my next piece? And then this will be a good idea. Sometimes I even wake up because I don't want to lose it. So I'm that kind of artist, I can kind of take it anywhere.
So how long have you been a SWAYA juried artist?
I've been in SWAYA since I was, elementary.
Wow.
Elementary. And then when I turned 18, I had to compete with everybody else. So it was a lot harder. It took me about 2 years to get back into it. So I think I was about 20, 21 when I got back into the market. So I've been in the market. And like when we were in art shows growing up as kids, me and my brother and I, we actually went to every art show, but we always played under the table, but we also were able to learn from my parents on how to speak to people about the culture, where how about our pottery. So now, the same as my kids, my son is a good salesman. He will talk and talk till he sells something. So he's really good at selling because, same way with my brother and I take them to every show since they were babies. And so they especially like New York because I do the Smithsonian also. So they love to travel. They've been traveling since they were babies. So they now, I don't really leave them in my area as well. So, but they hear me speak about my pieces, and then they're learning now how to but my daughter is still a little bit shy to speak to people. They want to have different careers, but they also want to do this. And I want that they can have this to fall back onto, if they want. But they want to be an artist, but I tell them, you go to school, you know the sky's the limit. If you want to do this, I'll be happy, I'll support you. So I also belong into the Palace of the Governors in Santa Fe. Yeah, so I belong to that program as well. And that took me a very long time to get into. I finally got in 2014. So it took me like 12 years to get into that. Yeah, so and I travel throughout the country doing my shows.
What is your fondest memory of Santa Fe Indian Market?
I would say getting there when it's still dark. Getting there when it's still dark, and like 4:30 in the morning, people are waiting for you at your booth, just waiting for you to take out the piece, because I always try to enter a piece. So when they seen it, they want that piece. And then when I'm there, they're right away waiting for me to take out my stuff. And they're selling, I've done that. I've sold like when it's still dark. I've sold pieces, and I really like that. That's the whole swaya, I think. People waiting at your booth. And now they have stickers too, where they can stick on your boot to say, I was here first, kind of thing. Yeah. So it's kind of like I've had people fight over my stuff, to where one person just put it down, just still looking at it. And I see somebody behind, two people behind that person, like, okay, that's what I want. And right when she puts it down, right, they just go at it. And one person picks it up and they're like, she's like, I just put it down for a second. And yeah, it's amazing to see that. And a lot of my customers have been return customers since I started. I still have people that bought from me when I was a kid buy from me till this day, and they're pretty happy in what I'm doing, because like I said, I learned I didn't just stick to one. So I feel like I'm doing two mediums sometimes. Like it feels like I'm doing like a jewelry sometimes, because these ones are one of a kind pieces up here. Like everything's one of a kind, but these ones up here, the stone polished, hand carved, and etched, you get like 3 different techniques in these. One pot actually took me a whole year to do, because I wasn't sure of what I wanted on the piece. Some pieces take months to do. So it feels like I'm doing two mediums sometimes. And sometimes I have more of these because I'm still working on these. Up here, I'm not sure what I want to put on the piece. So that's why it takes me longer to do these pieces up top, up here, that I have up here. But these ones are my fun pieces, I call them, my figurines, because they make me happy. I have customers who just love my figurines, so I just try to keep up with them and just do different styles, but they actually can have an art show of their own.
Definitely see personality in the figurines. It's probably a reflection of who you are.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people don't have a lot of space for the real, because I do really large nativities as well. So I know they don't have a lot of room. They can just hang it up, just different ideas, and they love it. I'm
Sweet.
always trying to think of new things to make. And actually, during this whole COVID time, I did think of some pieces that I have sold, about what I was experiencing during this time, missing home and my culture, but still praying every day, that we will come out of this
Yeah.
together stronger, so I would put a lot of those symbols that I think on my pieces, and those pieces are already sold, but I do have others that I created during this time, and I'm still creating more as I go,
Mm.
and we'll see how it takes me. And this art span, it really helped me as well. It was pretty easy to, I was afraid at first, because trying something new, because I was so used to being in person. And once this thing came out about art span, I was like, oh my gosh, I attended all the virtual, everything about, the learning how to create your own website to how marketing. So I make sure I attended those meetings online. And then when I got into it, I kept pushing myself, like, like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it the next day. But I said, okay, I have to just sit down and do it. And because I was afraid, I think I was afraid of how it was going to work, but it was pretty easy. I was pretty happy about it. My shows in the summer as well as in the winter, I did pretty well. So I was pretty happy about that. Now I'm starting the whole Facebook, Instagram, trying to do all that. It's a lot of work. I'm so used to just going there, selling my work in person, and now I'm doing it virtually. And like I said, this is how I would set up my Zoom. It's just the same, people hop in like you're here
Yeah.
now. And if I show you something up close, some people tell me, I didn't even see that on the website, how, detailed it was. Okay, I'm gonna buy that. So it's just a little bit different, and I enjoy it. I'm planning to keep my art span, right? Because I think I will do good during the whole year. And thank you for that, because yeah, I'm really happy that you guys were there helping us, especially now, and then meeting new people. I've had a lot of new customers, and that I met during this time, and and I think it was all the advertisement as well. So thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
Awesome.
that, what you did for us.
So I want to know, if people want to get a hold of you, what is your website address?
Oh, it's www.terrycajeropottery.artspan.com.
Perfect.
And then they can
Perfect.
find me on Facebook with just my name, Teri Cajero, or Instagram, just Teri Cajero, at Teri Cajero. And that's where they'll find me as well. And I'm trying to post some pictures as well of pieces that I do have available, some that are coming up, maybe process of them. And I'm just still thinking about videos. I'm still, it's a lot to work with right now, but I think it's helping, having new people, especially that never even shopped with Spire. I had one customer in for the August show that never heard about Swaya, ever heard about Swaya. And he just saw because you guys have put one of my pieces for the advertisement. And thank you for that. That really helped. I had like 7 of those pots ordered by people, just the same pot. And he never even knew about Swaya. And he is my customer. He's just like returning over and over. And he met me, and it was really nice to share my culture and how long I've been doing this work with him. And he's never even been to Santa Fe. So and it's really connecting with people with that never even been to Santa Fe or even heard of the market.
And that's the goal. Like everything that you're talking about and everything that you're having a positive experience with is exactly our goal, is that we bring your art to the world, and it's definitely going to penetrate new collectors, and we're excited about it.
And the younger ones too. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
because some of them are a little interested, but you do find some where they get a piece from their parents and they're not sure what it is. I've had people come to Santa Fe where I'm selling, ask me, I inherit this from my mother and I want to know who the artist is. So, I try to tell them if I know who the piece is from, I'll try to tell them and let them know the culture and how much, it's worth, because they don't know what it's worth until they know the history behind it. And it'll be
That's
nice to,
right. That's all.
yeah, it'd be nice to get out to the younger generation as well, because we do have our older collectors, but now the younger ones are coming in, and you know, we'll see with them. Yeah.
Goal. I mean, that's so exciting. That so encourages me because that's the goal. There's a generational shift that's occurring from
Uh-huh.
this older generation, and we're definitely going to be able to attract them through internet. And
Mhm.
so, yay.
They're always on their phones, always on the internet, always posting selfies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
so
the ones that need to be doing the advertising for us, right?
yeah, I know. So my son tells me, he says, you need to do this and that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I said, he's always on his phone too. And he told me I need to do this. And he's like, yeah, I'm like, I'm not that old. It's just a little harder to try to promote yourself.
Yeah.
And especially during this time, because like I said, I was just so used to in person going to shows and doing the Santa Fe. I was going there weekly before this even happened. So it just kind of, a lot of it's like our lives just got on pause for a while because we were just so busy and put on hold. So it gives me time to think about a lot of things and, just trying to create. Sometimes I was just not wanting to, but then as I started learning that you're going to do a virtual show during the market, I said, I'll try it. I'll see how it goes. And I'm happy I did it because I had it was really good for me. Both, like I said, even the winter, I actually did better the winter market than the in-person winter market. I was shocked.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I've done the winter market, but it's not, sometimes it's not as well. You never know, how it's going to work out.
Can't wait to meet you in person.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you in person as well. Hopefully we'll get to
Yeah.
see maybe August. We don't know, but but I'm ready to actually see people in person. I miss my customers too, they really miss me too. They can't wait to actually come back to Santa Fe. A lot of them have been telling me that. So I'm just looking forward, and I know it's going to be even better than before. A lot of people are wanting to get out.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Teri, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate this opportunity to talk to you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. And I enjoy it too. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.